Good evening, campers, it's me, Kieran. I read a lot of books, and people who don't read a lot normally come to me for recommendations. And I promise you, 9 times out of 10, the only book I am recommending them is Kutseya's Disgrace. Blodwen, do you disagree? Blodwen likes this book because the dog on the front cover looks like, you know that chord video? Word up! While reminiscing about new metal is one of my favourite things, I don't care. I really like Limp Bizkit. Okay, deal with. I think it's Disgrace. I think Disgrace. Stop it! Blubbers! There are many reasons why I recommend Disgrace. First of all, it's been lauded, it's been awarded, and it's been celebrated. And I think even in a subconscious level, that puts people at ease. Knowing that this won the Booker, the most prestigious prize in the UK, and Kutseya has won the Nobel Prize, gives a little bit of credence that a lot of people like this book. Secondly, you get to join the discourse on how on earth do you say this name? I say Kutseya. I've heard a lot of people say Kutsi, but watching the Nobel, they say Curtsy. That doesn't sound right to me. Furthermore, it's 220 pages. People who are intimidated by reading aren't intimidated by the size of this. I'm aware in other videos I've said only recommend books to new readers under 200 pages. Give myself a 10% leeway. That feels about right, doesn't it? But nevertheless, I think if you recommend anything more than like 250 pages, I think you're moving into the category of people thinking that it's going to be a much more excruciating and longer task than anything like around that like 200 page. I think people are more willing to pick up something this size than they are this size. Despite the praise for this author and the difficulty in his last name, Kutseya to me is the master of simple prose. I personally find this book manages plot and character study exceptionally well. Equally, a lot of people will understand what the idea of disgrace is, or what they perceive a disgraced character would be. And our main protagonist, David Lurie, is he's a character, alright. Lurie is wonderful to hate, and you're ready for him to get his comeuppance. You're ready to see the downfall of Lurie. But the way events take place, and I'm not going to sugarcoat this is a little bit of a bleak book. Like, nothing goes right for the fella, and even though that's what you want, it doesn't feel like there's a sense of closure for what has happened, for what Lurie has done. It doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel just. Now, of the people who I've sent this book to, and I promise you, I've sent this book out like way more than I probably should have. People who've then decided to embark on reading this begin asking those types of questions of, like, I don't think Lurie's learned anything by the end of this. I don't think that was the way that he should have dealt with his own consequences because of his own actions. And there's a lot of conversation that gets brought up with Disgrace, so much so that people who read Disgrace years ago, when you engage with a topic of them, it is still so raw, it is still so... It's a very simple novel. By God, is it powerful, because I've had conversations about this book, loads of conversation, and I cherish this book. It's a great book. It's great for conversation. It's great for a book club. You just gotta know that everything is going to go bad. Please don't think this is an undertaking similar to A Little Life. Disgrace is more subtler in how it deals with the downfall, the possible downfall of David Lurie. This is pretty much the only book I recommend to new readers, and it's probably not going to change anytime soon.